Hello everybody, CritCrab here with a couple insane stories. One with a satisfying and fulfilling ending, and the other without. But before we jump in, I just want to quickly thank World Anvil for sponsoring this video. Are you a game master, author, or just somebody who likes world building? Are you tired of keeping all of your notes in a chaotic mess of various documents or notepads? Then I've got a tool for you. World Anvil is a fun, helpful tool for TRPG players and anyone who wants to build a world to their exact specifications. World Anvil acts and feels like a fun, easy-to-use wiki page for your campaign that keeps things neat, tidy, and accessible. In World Anvil, you can keep track of your world's history using timelines and calendars, or turn your normal map into an interactive map using little map pins and hyperlinks. You can even design and keep track of your plots, campaign, NPCs, and so much more. When you're ready, you can even share the world you built with your players while still keeping secret pages that only the GM can see. World Anvil has almost everything you need to create and manage your campaign. And most important of all, it is completely crab friendly, so if this seems like the tool for you, then click the link in the description for a whopping 25% off. I'll see you there. Anyways, all that aside, roll post. Background: I'm a woman and I've been playing with most folks in this group for a couple years. For the record, I'm in my early 40s. Most of them are young enough that I could feasibly be their mother, and I've been known to occasionally do things like make them cookies or help them learn various adulting skills, like proper cover letters and resumes and the like. They sometimes call me Game Mom, and there are occasional instances of hugging. The overall group is about 15 folks. I'm not the only female player who rotate around as time allows. My actual son and husband are both gamers, but neither were present at this event. As it happens, for this particular campaign, it was all youngins and me, and happened to be at my house. We have been playing in this campaign for about 8 sessions when a player has to bow out due to it being the only night he and his girlfriend have off. DM mentions that there's a new guy looking for a group, and we decide to give him a try. Day of game. One of the younger players has apparently been having a bad day. As I sit on the couch, he sits next to me and leans against me. I put my arm around his shoulders and let him. Then this new guy comes in, sees this, and makes a borderline homophobic comment before sitting down. Major strike. I'm whispering to the Snuggly player and asking him if he wants me to make the guy leave, and Snuggly player is saying no and that he can't handle a scene right now. I say okay, but he's not going to be allowed back, that's for sure. DM sits down and the new player looks at me and says, "Is Grandma really gonna sit here and watch the whole game? 'Cause if she is, she better keep her mouth shut about how I play my character." The DM basically asks, "What the f***?" And it turns out the new guy was planning on playing a character that was going to be a rapist, and added that if one of the characters was gay, his character was gonna kill them and blah blah blah. And having women at the table just led to problems. He starts throwing out homophobic slurs and then trying to gaslight by pulling the "what, you guys can't take a joke" line. I'm quiet through most of this because I'm trying to keep Snuggly player from having an anxiety attack at all this. DM immediately puts it to a vote and new player was unanimously asked to leave. He proceeded to throw a gigantic shit fit to the point that the wizard and cleric had to literally drag him out of my home. He then decided to whip it out and piss all over my car while screaming. And the cleric player, who knows his way around my house because he pet sits for me, turned the sprinklers on to finally make him leave. We decided to game anyway. Characters don't manage to achieve much during the game itself, mostly because they're putting more effort into making sure Snuggly players cheered up and doing okay than actually accomplishing the in-game goals. But it seems like it works. He's laughing by the time the session ends. Then, just as they were leaving, the new player's mother showed up to start screaming at my group, hurling abuse at them for being mean to her little boy. She claimed that they had assaulted him and that she called the cops and was going to have them all arrested. She went so far as to grab the arm of the Snuggly player and jerk him almost off his feet. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the story about how and why I punched a gamer's mother and got her arrested by the cops that she herself had summoned. Don't mess with my kids. P.S. Snuggly player is doing much better now, and now has a much better job than the horrible one that started off his bad day. End post. Before I give the full commentary, there was one line in particular that never fails to force my eyes to roll so far back in my skull I can see where my brain used to be. What, you guys can't take a joke? I am 100% sure that if he didn't get such a negative reaction, it would cease to be a joke. This phenomenon is known as Schrodinger's asshole, where you can say whatever you want about raping women and murdering gay people, and you are forever free from consequences because whether or not you were joking depends entirely on how the room reacts. If the people are laughing or agreeing, it's not a joke. But if the people are normal and looking at you with disgust and asking you to leave, I was just memeing, bro, stop getting triggered over a joke. Anyways, rant aside, this whole group, minus one person in particular, is amazing, and OP sounds like a great person and friend. So huge shout out to all of you game moms and dads out there. Also, for context, the guy was described by OP in the comments as old enough to smoke, but too young to drink. So as an adult, their behavior was completely unjustifiable, and if I were a betting crab, I would say that his mom had a lot to do with creating that. Now, you might say that he could have had some serious underlying mental illnesses or other issues, and given that he was screaming at a car while peeing on it, you're probably right. But that's hardly an excuse, so here's hoping he gets help before he does something significantly worse. Anyways, next post. Let's rewind time to early 2019. I had a homebrew that I'd been working on for about a year at this point. Magic illegal, but not low magic, dark fantasy setting. Listed the concept to the players and they said it sounded great. I did a proper session 0 and everything. Now, it's worth noting that I run more serious games. I don't ban joking or anything like that at my table, but I like things to get heavy into roleplay to set up personal arcs for the characters that have meaning down the road. All I ask for in order to try and help set this up is that the players, 1, buy into the theme, 2, don't troll and turn everything into a dick joke, and 3, tell me if they're not really interested in the campaign so I don't spend countless sessions tossing hooks at them just to be ignored. Generally speaking, my groups agree to these caveats and everyone has a blast. I've successfully run about half a dozen campaigns into level 15. Anyway, session 1 of this campaign rolls around. One of the characters is a bard who uses ventriloquism with a sock puppet for his performance and casting. And 1 is a barbarian who declares that he's part of the Guild of Idiots. Fast forward over the next couple of sessions and I'm at a loss. Everything is turned into some kind of joke, about 60 of which are scatological in nature and the other 40% are belligerently sexual. Every hook I place gently in front of them or chuck straight at their head is ignored. Long story short, I just stopped rescheduling for them. They kept asking to play, so I took a published campaign I'd run before and let them run amok all over someone else's work rather than my own homebrew. I knew the campaign like the back of my hand, so I could drink and just laugh at their shenanigans. That eventually broke up too, for a story I might post here later, but it was good for a while. This is where things get weird. Whenever I'm talking in a group about campaigns and stuff I've run, my friend starts bragging about them derailing that campaign. Stuff he's said includes, "Oh yeah, one time we ruined a campaign in like 3 sessions that Shove Melons Up My Bum had been working on for like a year. It was hilarious. Yeah, I love trolling the DM and ruining their plans. Remember when we did that to your homebrew?" These are quotes. I've started calling them out on it after a particularly harsh call out by someone other than myself. He's stopped, but whenever we're just hanging out, this friend always asks, "Why don't you run D&D anymore?" Not knowing that I'm 6 months deep in the exact homebrew he's been so happy about derailing. The lack of awareness astounds me. Needless to say, this individual has a lifetime ban from my table. I will literally never DM for them again. End post. Hey bro, remember that time I epically trolled on that game you put your soul into for our enjoyment? I particularly liked that epic look of defeat on your face as you realize hours upon hours of your life just got thrown into the wood chipper epic troll style. On another note, why don't you run games like that anymore? Anyways, jokes aside, I'm really not victim blaming or saying OP should have done anything differently. But I really wonder what would have happened if OP just straight up had a serious conversation and told them what they were doing and how it made him feel. Would it be a reality check, or would the perpetrators get defensive and tell OP to stop being mad over a game or some other bullshit? I say this because I've had players who would treat my campaigns like total jokes and mock and ridicule everything, often comparing most everything in the game to any media that even vaguely resembled it. When I actually sat down and talked to them about it, they understood completely and our games were much better from then forward. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more stories just like these ones. Till next time.